What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Garage Talk. I just bought some tools for my lathe off Amazon and we're gonna try them out. In this series, we discuss all the things that have to do with supporting your passion for cars. We explore tools, tips, and techniques that will help you be successful in your own garage. So I finally got my lathe set up just the way I want it. It's in the correct position in the garage. It's all wired in. It's ready to go. I've turned a couple little parts on it, but nothing major. I've come to find some things that I don't necessarily like about it. It's got a 4-way tool post on it, which is this guy right here. You know, you can loosen this and turn it. The problem with a 4-way tool post is that you don't really have a good way of adjusting your tool center heights, so position of the tool bit in relation to the center axis of rotation for the spindle. You have to, put a bunch of shims under it. It just sucks. So I really want a quick change tool post. There's a couple different styles that you can get. There's what's called a piston style, which is where a little piston pushes out the side, and there's a wedge style. I wanted a wedge style because they lock down nice and solid. I went on Amazon, I gambled, and I bought a quick change tool post with a bunch of tooling in it. I haven't even opened it up yet. I bought an extra tool holder, and then I also bought a set of boring bars off Amazon that we're gonna try out. So let's see what they look like. Here is the quick change tool set. It says quick change tool post on it, so that's a good sign. Pretty sure it's made in China, but that's okay. So I bought one extra just regular tool holder just in case, because I have an idea of what sort of tools I want. So I've got one extra tool holder. Look at that thing. It's adorable. Not too bad, actually, pulling it out. These surfaces are all surface ground. So that's actually a pretty good sign that this is good quality, and it's gonna lock in nice and tight, so we'll see. All right, let's pull our things out of the box here. Oh, the biggest one is probably the quick change post itself. Yep, knob. So here's the post. And I'm wearing gloves because it's covered in really gross rust inhibitor that stinks really bad, so nobody likes that. And look at that, okay. So basically the way that this works is you would take your tool, slide on, and it locks in. Pretty sweet, huh? I can tell you right now, this square is not going to fit in my lathe, so that's going to have to get modified. Tool holders! This is a 202. I think this one is the exact same thing that I have right here, which it is. Yep. Okay, cool, so I got another one of those. This is sort of the same thing as those other posts or holders, but it has no groove in the middle for a boring bar, so you can see the difference. It's got a groove for the boring bar here, no groove for the boring bar. But all of these I'm pulling out are surface ground on the inside, so pretty nice, actually. I'm impressed. For this kit was $165, and to get one extra holder was another $17, so really not that bad. All right, which one is this? This is a knurling tool. To be honest with you, I'll probably never use because I don't really like push knurlers because they put a ton of load on your spindle. But there's a tool clamp area back here that I can use. Part off tool holder, which is pretty sweet. I actually have a part off tool that we can use in this, which will be pretty nice. And then last but not least, a boring bar holder. I don't think I have the correct sleeve in this boring bar holder for any of the boring bars that I have, but that's okay because I have a lathe, so that means that I can make new sleeves to hold my boring bars. Pretty cool. Before we can install the quick change post, the T-nut needs to be modified so it can fit into the slot in the compound. The chop saw comes in handy for trimming down the outside edges.
Using a 4-jaw chuck and the live center in the tailstock, we can turn back the thickness while maintaining all the threads for the stud. Now that the tool post is on, we can set the tool centers on each of the new holders. By taking a test cut on a small piece of scrap material, we can verify that each tool is set up properly.
Alright, so the other tool that I got here is a set of boring bars. I think these cost me $50. So, comes with inserts, comes with 10 inserts. Hopefully I can get replacements of those. If they're a standard size, we'll have to see. So I got a couple different size boring bars here. It's like a 3/8. It's definitely metric. That's okay though. We can make some sleeves to hold it into the boring bar holder. And what else do we have? We have a smaller one. This one is 312. Looks like it's even smaller. 273. About 465. So not too bad. Pretty nice boring bar, and they all use the same size insert, which is fairly convenient. So, I have this idea. I want to make a little dimple die, just as kind of a fun thing. That way I can kind of test out all the different bits and pieces that I have here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a 2-piece die. One side's going to have a shoulder and a taper, male taper, and then the other side's going to have a bore with matching for that spud and the female taper, so we can kind of use the press to press down on a piece of sheet metal. So what I'm thinking is 1/2-inch bore through here, which I can use the smaller boring bar to do. So I'll bore it undersized and then get it to good size, and then I will make a nice tight fit in the mating part. Let's get going. So I would say all in all, really good bang for your buck what we got here with the quick change tool post and the boring bars. It was just over $200, and honestly I could not be happier. The quality of the tool is really great. I'd say the only downside obviously is you have to modify the T-nut, which I was able to do on the lathe myself, which was pretty cool, but not having to mess around with a 4-way post is going to be way nicer. The boring bars are great, they're rigid, you have a good range of size, and I like how they have the flat indent indexes the tool so that you have a little bit of a positive rake on your cut. The only thing that I am worried about is finding spare inserts for that. So that is something that I'm gonna have to look into and see if I can get some different inserts for it, but I'd say it did great. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Garage Talk, guys. I hope you enjoyed it.